Hey, 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 what's up, everybody in the land, that American land that we love so much? We've been told it's the greatest country on earth. I, I, I got no dog in that race. I don't know. I haven't been to enough other countries to compare, but I mean, that's what we grew up on. That's what they told us. So they couldn't say it if it wasn't true, right? Today, what's on my mind most is letting people go. Now, before you go too far into this, I want to explain what I mean. I have gotten to the point in my ripe old age where I believe that it's okay to let them go after that first sour interaction. That's how old I am. I'm old enough now to realize that they're not going to change. And whatever it was about them that soured you the first time, just let it go. Let it go. Don't try to get back together. Don't try to have another like peaceful dinner. Don't put the olive branch out. If whatever they did or said that rubbed you wrong, I've gotten to the point where I realized, you know what, just not everybody's chemistry is meant to go together well, and just keep it moving. Don't even do yourself the favor. I'm telling you, let it go. That's my opinion on it. If you have a thought and you think, well, no, I had a relationship one time and things got rocky and we made it work, I'd love to hear that story. Just to hear it and probably laugh in your face, because I know it doesn't. It ain't gonna work that way. It doesn't work that way. But anyway, if you do have some thoughts on that, convictions, beliefs, commentary, please email the show. You can always email us at Ace Michael Show, acemichaelshow at yahoo.com, and you can let us know your thoughts, convictions, beliefs, and we'd love to have that happen on the show. Today on the show, I have a filmmaker, an auteur is with us. Mr. Darren Haskins is with us, first timer on the Ace Michael Show. Darren, how are you doing today, sir?
Well, hello, hello, Ace. I am doing great. How about yourself?
I have to admit that I am doing muy excelente. I had a day of a few misadventures. Have you ever had one of those days where, for some reason, the same bottle jar top didn't fit this time? It used to fit, but now for whatever reason, it just takes like an extra tug. The bed sheets don't kind of fit. The dog is kind of not barking. Like every little thing today was slightly bit off, but not so much
Oh, it's
off
another test.
that it ruined
Just
my
another
day.
test.
Yeah, it was not so far off that it ruined my day, but it was a little bit of an off day. But
Yeah,
anywho, but I'm still thankful for every day. I mean, I got to
indeed.
live today. I got to have another day at it. I'm fine with that.
Great. Yeah, especially if you have your health. I mean, that's health is wealth. That's the key.
It really is. If we think that on the day that we're going to die, that we're going to be sitting there worried about a Verizon bill, I pretty much can guarantee that's not going to be the case. That is not.
No,
Is,
not even crossing my mind.
mm-mm. So, Darren, you make movies, or you're making movies, or you want to make movies. I think you're falling in the first category. You're a
Yes,
filmmaker.
I am. I am a filmmaker. Yes, once you start doing it, yeah, you have no other choice but to call yourself a filmmaker.
It's a
But yeah, it's a tough road because when you're starting off, that word or that phrase, "fake it till you make it,"
mm,
and until you start like making, work or working on projects, whether you're writing, acting, directing, till you start producing projects, then you can start officially calling yourself whatever, director, producer, writer. So it's a process, definitely.
it's a tough gig. Why do you want to do such a tough gig, man? I mean, it's a really hard hustle.
I agree. I agree. And when I decided in my mid 20s to finally to like seriously pursue this venture, I knew it was going to be a long road. I mean, since I was young, I knew I was going to be in entertainment some way or another. I thought baseball would be the first choice. That didn't work out. But then I always knew I could fall back on entertainment because I did acting as a young teen. Always loved being in front of the camera, being a goofball. But it was really the ideas, bringing ideas to life that I had in my mind because I
Mm.
had so many, and it was just learning how to write. So I went to school for screenwriting, and haven't looked back since. and it's just been a blast, just bringing my ideas to life.
I'm so happy to hear that for you. Now, you've got a name that plays well as a baseball player name. If you wanted to get down, I could see that. I mean,
Oh, that's
a
funny. Yeah,
Phil.
I was actually named after a baseball player.
Oh, really? That's
Yeah,
crazy.
Darren Johnson.
What a
Darren
crazy
Johnson.
coincidence.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, it
Yeah.
plays well as a filmmaker name too. But you mentioned that you had to go to school for writing, so I want to jump right into the first thing. Is I guess people need to understand that you need to learn how to write to be a good filmmaker. Is that what you're saying?
I mean, if you have a lot of ideas and you're looking for a way to get them out there, I think writing is the best way to start.
Hmm.
Definitely.
Now, eventually we're going to talk about AI, so I guess we're going to talk about that right now.
Okay.
AI is making movies, right?
It is.
Eh,
It is.
What are your thoughts on it?
Personally, I don't agree with it, but I understand it can be used as a tool in some
Hmm.
cases. But I think AI in general is taking a lot of the spirit, the human element out of learning how to be patient in order to grow and get better. Because AI is just it's instant gratification. That's
Mm.
what it is. It makes things faster, quicker, especially if we want to make money. Yeah, definitely. Who doesn't want to make money? So you don't need to fill in a lot of jobs with AI. You can kind of do stuff on your own and yeah, definitely make money much faster.
It's interesting. I agree with what you're saying, but I want to tell you like how I agree because I literally had this conversation with a filmmaker friend of mine. So she's got a movie that she's putting out, and it's kind of action adventure type of thing. And
Yeah.
her and her team, they spent the last year working on a comic book that's going to accompany the movie. Now, I'm not giving anything away because I'm sure she's not the only filmmaker that's made a comic book, right? But they spent all this time working on this comic book. And then the conversation that she and I were having was about making an AI music video that would come out with the comic book and with the film and blah, blah, blah. And she doesn't know that much about AI. I don't know that much about it, but I know more than she does about it. So as we talked about it quite a bit, I was like, yeah, well, that part you don't really need to do because the AI will do that. And she's like, well, what about the storyboard? We could write a story. I said, well, I mean, you don't really need to do that because your prompt is your storyboard. Like you can literally say, lady walks down the street, she gets hit by a boulder and she falls into a vat of oil or whatever. And as soon as you said that, there's your storyboard right there. And so then she was saying, well, what about voiceover? And I was like, actually, you don't even need to do that either. Like the more stuff that she talked about,
Yeah.
which was the stuff that was in the process that they had taken a year to make this comic, the colorization and color grading and all the stuff that they'd done. I was
Yeah.
kind of like, not really. I mean, you could actually do this video in about 2 hours. You don't have to
Exactly.
spend much longer than that on
You
it
don't have
because
to
it's
talk
going
to
to do
anybody.
everything. Yeah.
You don't have to talk to anybody. So it takes the human element out of, you know, having to socialize
Yeah.
and learn how to get rejected. Because, if you need a storyboard artist and you talk to somebody about it, let them know kind of what you have in mind, and it doesn't turn out the way you want, well, then you have to decide, well, I got to confront this person like, hey, we're not on the same page. I'm going to have to let you go, which is a very difficult situation because you don't
Of
want to, no one
course.
wants to hurt each other's feelings, but we have to be able to handle that. Like we can't let words discourage us from putting ourselves out there
Right.
because it's all
Right.
trial and error. Life is trial and error. I mean, we're going to fail more than we succeed. I mean, at least that's kind of been my my path. Like I'm just so used to hearing no or just rejections, but I'm still going because I
Yeah.
know I'm getting better.
And isn't that the whole idea behind the creative process? Like, there are so many great creations that were made. I'm just going to pick on Apocalypse Now, right? I don't know that much
Yeah,
about it, but I know from everything that I've read that it's a film that took years, a decade, I believe, or if not more, to make this
yeah,
movie. Can you imagine? I don't know how old you are if you're listening. Obviously, you're listening to this. Think about that. If you if you're 23 right now, can you imagine you started a project when you were 13 years old that you thought
That's wild.
would be completed by the
That is
time you were
wild.
14, and now
You
you
have to
are
have a
old enough to
loyal cast
drink?
and crew.
Yeah,
You have
isn't
to have
it?
a loyal cast and crew for that, because I mean, funding is a big issue on a lot of these projects, and if people feel like they're not getting their worth, they might want to leave. So that's also a difficult, topic to take on. So yeah, 10 years to finish one film, that's wild.
But I like what you said, and if it hadn't been for that time, I think he struggled with the Godfather series as well. The second one, I think, took a lot longer than he anticipated. But I think that
Yeah,
whatever those creative challenges were, I'm going to say this. It's going to sound hokey. I think it sounds hokey, even as I'm about to say it, but I believe it. If it weren't for the challenges, it wouldn't be worth the triumph. I mean,
totally.
and
I
it,
agree.
and it's funny because it kind of goes against what I first said at the beginning of the show, which I also believe in. Like if you meet some individual who's just a pain in the ass from day one, somebody you work with, I don't know, you just can't get along with this person for whatever reason. The jokes that you tell don't land. You guys aren't
Yeah.
comfortable sitting in the breaking room together for whatever reason. This person and you are just like oil and water. I do say leave that alone. There's probably a reason you two should never fraternize. Now,
Yeah.
by the same token, I agree with what you just said, which is that sometimes that conflict and that challenge and that disappointment, that letdown is what drives you to get it done. Would you agree?
Yeah. I agree. I agree. I mean, if you have the willpower in your mind, you can you can push forward. Just keep pushing forward. I mean, that's the key. Because I mean, I feel like life's a roller coaster. You're gonna have your ups, you're gonna have your downs, but as long as you're just consistently, persistently moving forward, you're gonna get to where you want to be.
Okay, but give me an example of that. Okay, so I believe you, but I've got rose colored glasses on. So, really, honestly, how does that work in theory?
Well, patience. I mean, just like you said, Apocalypse Now, 10 years later. I mean, it's a classic amongst many filmmakers. So, I mean, probably what they put into it, they probably got back what tenfold. So they were rewarded at some point for their hard work, even though during that time it was difficult and it seemed like, what am I doing? You're constantly like questioning yourself, like, should I even be doing this? Like, I'm not getting anything out of this. But then also, like you said earlier, like when you finish that and you feel fulfilled, and then when people are able to react positively and invest in your movie back to you, I think all that time is kind of worthwhile. I mean, in a spiritual sense, I would say. Maybe it's kind of difficult to see when you're in the moment, but I think when you can kind of see long term, it'll work out.
So,
That's my belief, my faith in that.
so let me plug you in this different direction. So I agree.
Okay.
So you're working on a film project and you have all these upsets and these drawbacks. Things happen, blah blah blah. But then you do get that movie done, which is the payoff. You can say, yes, this film is completed. It's done deal. Blah blah blah. Going back to AI for a second, and I'd like to know your thoughts on this. I kind of feel like the completion process is so easy that it eliminates the wait. Like, when you watch a scene, like let's say if you're a Lucas and Spielberg fan, so if you watch a scene from Jaws, there's some weight in that. These guys are in a boat, they're in the water, right? And they've been in the water for hours. You know, they must have taken hours to film this scene. And the
Yeah.
animatronic shark is not the same as a CGI shark. So there's more weight to that. There's probably a diver underneath the boat and holding the shark pieces together, blah, blah, blah. So there's some real weight there. There's weight to Indiana Jones, the first one, when you see him running, he's actually running. That's a human being that's running and sweating. And, all of the elements are there, the natural elements, the heat, the wind, the dusk, all that stuff, right? When you
Yeah,
do the same exact thing with AI, because there is no extra weight, I think a generation is missing out on the quality of the product. I really
I
do.
agree.
Because
I
there's
agree.
there's nothing, there's no gamble there. Like, these bullets are going to bounce right off him. So what's the
Yeah,
big deal? Shoot more bullets. You can
yeah,
shoot bullets all day. I'm not concerned because I know it's going to bounce right back to him.
yeah. That's why I like improv, right? Things that happen on set that you don't expect, and
Right.
sometimes they turn to magic.
Right.
I mean, that's kind of the beauty of, yeah, being on set, and anything can happen.
I just read something about this. As a matter of fact, I remembered what I read was there's a movie, Keanu Reeves is in this movie called Street Kings. Really cool movie. But there's a scene, have you seen it?
Long time ago, yeah.
Yeah, well, I don't, the only reason I brought it up was because there was this article on the internet, and said that he completely made this dialogue up, this one particular scene. He just made this dialogue up, and people have been saying this piece of dialogue for, forever since the movie came out, but it was completely made up. Now, it's things like that. AI can't do that thing. See?
Exactly. It misses the human element. The human element's missing.
Right. And it made sense. Like, what he said made sense to another human because we would get it. But even if I wrote that in a script and had the AI do it, it's not going to carry the same inflection. There's going to be something a little bit off with the sentiment of it, you
Yeah,
know?
I agree.
It's like
I agree.
it's like when your friend who's from another country tries to curse and you go, no, 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 we don't put those two curse words together. That doesn't make, that's not. Yeah, I get what you're trying to do right there. I understand,
Yeah,
but you're actually making me laugh instead of insulting me, and you're supposed to insult
yeah.
me more, right? So, filmmaking, okay, we know it's hard. Well, what's the big payoff then? If it's so hard, why do so many people want to do it? Why do you want to do it? It's so hard.
It
What's the
is.
investment in all that?
I don't know. I think it's just because the world's so crazy, it's stressful. And, we all have a creative power within us. But I feel like not many people really choose to tap into it, because we're so concerned with just survival. So, we're constantly overworking ourselves, and then we come home, we have this routine, and there's really no room for that creative outlet. And so it's just trying to find your niche, whatever, and stick to it and just slowly chip away at it and see it grow and realize, the progress that you're making. Because maybe when you start off, you're not so great, but if you keep at it, you take critiques well, and you just constantly being a student of whatever creativity you want to be invested in, you'll get better. Just stick with it, be patient, chip away, and you'll get better. And the payoff, I think, is just that feeling of progress. And at least for me, I mean, I know we all want to get paid at some point, but it'll come. I believe it.
You know what? I agree. Still agree. Um, Wanted to ask you this though. Okay, so when you're making a film, there's a lot of moving parts.
Hmm.
Um, what's your favorite of the moving parts?
Uh, I mean, just I think being on set, working with the actors and the DP, the camera guy, and
Hmm.
just bringing that. I don't know, I mean, obviously, if it's my story, bringing these characters I have in my mind to life, to how I see them, and just being satisfied with the performance by the actors, and then being on the same page with my camera guy, my DP, and all of us just being like, that was it. That was it.
Hmm.
That was great. And I don't know, it's just very fulfilling. And then when you go into post production and you see it and you're just like, yep, we felt that, right? Yep. I
So
don't know why. It's that energy. It's the energy.
It's
Just,
the it's the collective process. Like it wouldn't work the
yeah,
same if it was just you making the movie, but you like the group of everybody getting something done and the group of
I
everybody
do.
having a win.
Yeah,
Kind of like a
yeah, because
baseball
everyone
team.
has their total. Well, I'm a former baseball player, so that's probably where it comes from.
Yeah,
I'm a team player, but
that's interesting.
yeah, yeah. So if I everyone has their strengths, and if I can help them amplify their strengths in their job, I mean, we're going to create something great, fun, hopefully entertaining enough for people to want to watch and come back for more.
So Darren, do you think you would be just as excited if you weren't the alpha dog? Like obviously as the director of a film, you are the boss, right? You, at least on the set. The producer might be the
Yeah.
real boss, but you're the boss on the set. Would you be
I mean,
just as
personally, I feel
happy
like,
if you weren't?
yeah, yeah. Well, I started off acting, and that was always fun. And I did, some professional projects back in the day, and I always thought that was kind of my future. But I think after I went to school and learned how to write,
Mm-hmm.
like it totally changed. I was like, yeah, I want to be behind the camera because I'm an ideas guy, and I want to get those ideas out into the world. And unfortunately, only doing acting, you're doing other people's ideas.
Yeah, yeah,
So
I
it's
can see
like,
that. I can see that.
so, if you want your ideas to get out there, you got to learn how to write. You got to learn how to bring people together. And, I think I did a lot of that in my 20s, planning trips, parties, events. So that kind of came natural to me as I became a filmmaker to bring people together and let's create something great. Just keep getting better at our craft.
So, as an actor and as a director, do you feel there's certain roles? Because this goes back to another article that I read. See, I do basically, if it's pop culture reference, that's how I live. Like everything's got to be a pop culture reference for me to understand it.
Yeah.
So, so I was reading this article about James Bond, the character James Bond, and in this
Yeah.
article they were listing all of the actors who were offered a James Bond role at one point and turned it down and the reasons that they turned it down. And it seemed like most of the reasons for these really popular actors that didn't want to play James Bond was it's too constricting. Like it's a character that I'm going to play. It's like playing Santa Claus. Like we already
Yeah.
know how the story goes. We already know what motivates this character. We already know
Yeah.
he doesn't die. We already know like there's no reason for me to do that. I'm not acting if I'm just going to play this cookie cutter James Bond or Jesus
Yeah.
Christ or Santa Claus or Frosty
Yeah.
the Snowman. Your thoughts on that? It sounds like you agree, but I'm just curious from a
Yeah.
directorial standpoint.
I'm
What do you
not a,
think of that?
yeah, I'm not a big fan of all these remakes. I want original. I want something new. But, these big studios, they want to keep regurgitating certain ideas to every generation and then add in their own twists and turns. But at the end of the day, it's kind of all the same. So yeah, I'm not a big fan. I mean, of James Bond. I mean, I've seen a couple of the movies. They're cool. Don't get me wrong, but
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
yeah, I'm not like rewatching it. I'll watch
Right.
once, just go right. But yeah, like you said, it's the same old thing. We all know what's expected. He's gonna survive. He's gonna get the girl. He's gonna
Right.
blow up some stuff, and it's just
He's
like,
gonna blow up some stuff.
yeah, yeah,
Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what the stuff is. Just know that some
yeah,
stuff is gonna get blown up. I love it. That's
yeah,
pretty much the way it is. Some stuff is gonna get blown up, and he's gonna get the girl. You're
yeah,
right. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
It's the same. But
How do you feel
I mean,
about
some
the
people like it. You know.
how do you feel about
So
the Marvel movies? You feel the same way? Like it's pretty much save the
I feel like it's
universe.
yeah, I feel like it's kind of died out. Like I was a big Marvel, I was watching all the films up until like the end game. I
Mm-hmm.
think a lot of people in my generation kind of feel the same way. Like after the end game movies, it's really kind of died down
Right.
because they started bringing in all these other crazy characters. I mean, honestly, I had never heard of Ant-Man until they brought the movie
Right.
out.
Right.
So I thought that was, I mean, I thought the first film was pretty decent, for never hearing of this character. It's like, okay, cool. And yeah, I don't know. It's just the universe has gotten way too big. Now they have all the Disney shows. It's like it's just too much to keep up with. Especially if you're a creator yourself, you have to stay focused on creating your own stuff.
Yeah, and I want to throw this out. I've never been a fan of Disney, so I am not Disney. I'm 100% against Disney for many, many reasons. That's a whole nother show we'll talk about
Yeah.
someday. But one thing that I want to stress to people is like, if you notice, like Disney produces The Punisher of many shows that they do, but um, Disney's very violent now. Like the most stuff that's on Disney is bloody, gory, violent crap. Like there used to be a thing called Disneyfied, and Disneyfied meant that you weren't going to see any gory, violent,
Yeah.
bloody
Family
stuff.
values.
Yeah,
The
but
family
now,
values are out the window.
yeah, now Disney is just trying to capitalize on whatever they think. If that's what you want to see, we're going to do the same thing on Disney,
Yeah,
Disney Plus. But I
it's
wanted to,
true.
I wanted to throw that
At
out
the
there.
end of the day, yeah, at the end of the day, we have to take accountability. Like, if people are going to them and watching, they're going to keep producing it. So if
Exactly.
they're still making the money, they're going to keep making it. So it's on us, the people, to say no and just let go. Like you said earlier on, learn how to let go.
Now there is a fine line between art and commerce, though. Like, have you ever worked with someone that maybe was producing one of your films and they totally had a different idea of what the structure, the characters, the story should be based on what would make them money versus your artistic integrity?
At this point, no. I've been very lucky to be basically on the same page as my actors, producers. I mean, for the most part, I've been producing it, so I've been in control of everything because
Mm-hmm.
I'm just wearing many hats. I'm the one funding it, and yeah, so I've been very lucky to kind of not had a butt heads a lot with the other creatives.
And you haven't had to make a movie or any kind of project, whether movie, music video, commercial. You haven't had to do a project yet strictly for the money, knowing that I don't really believe in this necessarily. And the only reason I'm here is because there's a check.
No, yeah, not at the moment.
It's good for you. That's good
Not
for you.
trying.
So
Trying.
what makes that integrity? Why are you so integritous like that when the whole business is changed? The whole business. Most
I
people
know.
in the industry are doing it for money.
I know. I try not to let money rule me. I know
Hmm.
it's easier said than done, but I just try to find a way. Like if I can afford to pay for my projects, that's what I'm gonna do.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. Maybe it's just part of a spiritual concept as well.
Hmm.
That I've studied and read, and it just makes a lot of sense because I mean, you see when people do things for money, they usually don't turn out too happy. They're usually not. They don't have as
Right.
much. There's
Right.
usually not much peace within. You can
Right.
sense their agitation, their stress, and
Yes.
I mean, I've
Yes.
been very lucky that I may stress about film and stuff, but I love it. I don't
Yes.
mind it. Everything else, I feel very good about. Family, friends, relationships. The world. I mean, the world's crazy, sure, but when I go out there personally, I do my best to just treat people the way I want to be treated, and
Yes.
things seem to work out.
And that's funny that you say that. Like, I used to think that, some actor was really being a baby about saying, well, I'm just gonna I'm gonna pick on Pee Wee Herman, although Pee Wee Herman never said this. Paul Rubens never said he didn't like Pee Wee Herman because of the fame that came with it. But
Yeah.
he did need a break. He did take some days where he was like, you know what, I'm not putting that Pee Wee stuff on today. You can forget that. I'll tell you someone who did say it. Eddie Murphy said he hated the Gumby character. After a while, he said he would go places and people would like, do Gumby. And he was like, look, that's a Saturday Night Live skit. I didn't even write that. I don't even, I would never even come up with that. That was something they came up with and I played it. So now that
Yeah.
I've played it, I don't want to go and do stand up and be reminded that I need to do Gumby. Don't ask me to do Gumby jokes. Anyway, my moral of my story is when you're in that, I used to think that these actors were being babies about, they don't want to play Iron Man anymore. Dude, that's how we know you. That's what made you popular. What's wrong with you? Of course you play Iron Man. But if it's constricting and it's a character that doesn't really grow, Well, no, you don't want to do the same catchphrases and you don't want to do the same. Oh, let me guess. I'm
Yeah.
about to walk through the door and the bucket of water is going to fall on my head and the crowd's going to laugh. I get it. We've done this over and over and over again, right?
Yeah,
so,
you get typecast. Sad. It's unfortunate that that happens.
so what do you do to keep your stories fresh and to keep your characters fresh? Because you'd have to work on that, right? You don't. It doesn't just happen.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I've been very grateful for my influences growing up. In Living Color, Wayans brothers,
Mm,
love them, and like Jim Carrey was a big inspiration for me. Robin Williams. I
mm-hmm,
mean, and Eddie Murphy. I love characters. People that
mm-hmm,
can play just different characters. Just I find it great. Who else? Dave Chappelle. Oh, big fan
mm-hmm,
of the Chappelle Show.
mm-hmm,
So I mean, it was always like those sketch comedy, Mad TV. Yeah, like Mad TV. I mean, SNL I liked too, but I think I was more Mad TV growing up.
mm-hmm,
It's just, I don't know. I love the humor of it all because I
mm-hmm.
feel like life is tragically beautiful, and you got to find the humor in it. And because I mean, humor, comedy in general, I think is just like we laugh at people's pain. They're getting hurt somehow, and we're just like laughing the way it's presented. So it's just,
Well,
I try to just, yeah, go
I
go
agree
for it.
with that. I do agree with that. I think it's there's a fine, fine line between what is humorous and what is really painful. But laughter helps us cope with the pain. Like you can
Yeah,
find a situation where someone just died and we're at the funeral and everyone's crying, and then one person stands up and goes, yeah, he still owes me $12. And people in the room will laugh because they'll go, you know
yeah,
what?
that would be a
Right.
great joke.
That's some bitch. He does owe me money, or
Yeah,
but we are, we're emotional driven characters. And that's what I think, and bringing the conversation full circle, when you're making
agreed.
these films, you're tapping into people's emotional need. They need that dopamine. They need that hit. They need that satisfaction. And you, as a filmmaker, I know you already know this, but for the people who aren't, I just want to ask this question. Have you ever noticed in most films, there is always retribution? If someone is cheating on their wife early on in the movie, by the end of that movie, that character will die, or that character will have some karmic retribution which will happen, which is not
Yeah,
necessarily true in life. Like in life, we deal with, you know, some of the most evil people that we run into might be senators, and they will always be senators, and they never quit. And then after they become senators, they become presidents, or they become. So we never get the justification part in real life that we do in movies. But that's why we get that dopamine hit when we see the bad guy finally get his. It's kind of like the redemption arc that we needed. When we leave the theater, we go,
yeah.
yeah, man, woo, they sure killed him good, didn't they? You know?
Well, that's the whole big thing about movies, right? It's escapism. It's a fantasy.
Right.
We're giving people what they really want to see in real life. Yet, I mean, we could definitely go founding father style, but
A jib, or maybe you need a this, or make. All we was doing was talking about movies. I don't make movies. We're just talking about them, you know? But
yeah,
we're
yeah,
so test marketed to, and they
yeah,
want us to believe in something larger than us, which ironically happens to be the thing that they control.
yeah.
So is
And
it?
it's just propaganda too. It's just insane.
It really is. It really is.
Yeah.
All right. So I said time is never our friend on the show. Darren, big pleasure. I loved your movie. And I guess you're coming out to show. Are you going to show the same movie again? Or are you going to show a new movie or a
I
different movie?
mean, I have another one. I mean, I could show the same one. Yeah. I mean, I'd like to, yeah, keep pushing it.
Okay.
But I mean, I do have other ones in the bag if need be.
I won't give it away. If you want to plug what it is, you can, but I know that people will enjoy it. That's going to be my plug.
Okay.
You will enjoy it. You come out to movie night, which is going to be on the 4th. It's on May the 4th, Star Wars
Oh,
fans.
yes.
May 4th. we have movie night at the Max and Jazz in Las Vegas, and Darren's going to show his film, or maybe more than one of his films. And the film that I saw was a great film. It was put together really well. It was very informative and fun. Like it was a good fun time, but you also learned a little bit. It was kind of edutainment. Would you agree? Was it
Yeah,
edutainment? Was that
that's
your goal?
yeah. I mean, I definitely try to put that in all my films. You know, add a little entertainment value, get some humor going, but also I want the audience to think a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, hopefully they can connect with that and catch Cookie Demon. Yeah, you
Nice.
can find that over at Cookie Demon Short Film on Instagram. Gonna be pushing that, yeah, for all the people that love snacks and
Yeah. Do you
yeah.
do you have now, or are you going to do Cookie Demon t-shirts? It seems like it's crying out for Cookie Demon
I mean,
merch.
I would love to do merch. I would love to do it, but I mean, a lot of my funding right now is going to a new film I'm in post
Yes.
production with. I'm just trying to get that done and then start pushing that. So hopefully one day I'll come around to doing some merch, but I'm just trying to get better at my craft
There you go.
and go from there.
There you go. Well, listen, you guys, come out to movie night. Check out Darren Haskins' film. I'm not gonna, because I don't even really, to be quite honest, I don't know which one it's gonna be. The one that I saw was Cookie Demon. Got a really great response from the crowd, which is a full house. Everybody seemed to love it, and
Yeah.
that is what's up. And then, how do we stalk you on the social media now? If we want to be pleasant followers, we want to sleep in your bushes and all that. What do we do next?
Well, yeah, I mean, I run four short film pages. You know, I kind of push that because I want to just, I want to share the ideas. So you could have Cookie Demon short film. Yeah, that's for Instagram. And then possibly I might show another one, Hard as It Gets.
Nice.
That's that. Yeah, it's more of like a political dark comedy thriller horror. You can find that at HAIG short film. And then I have a new one coming out. I mean, I would stay tuned for this one. I mean, it's pretty funny.
Hmm.
Man getting hit by life. You can find that at MGHBL short film. I would definitely stay tuned for that one. That's going to be coming soon in the next few months. And yeah, I mean, find me there. I'm very active and constantly just being social.
And that is what's up. Hey guys,
Yeah.
listen, thank you guys for listening to our they weren't conspiracy theories, they were theories. I will say they were theories, but I don't know how much conspiracy was tied up into
Well,
them.
if we go
I think
deeper, we can make it truth.
that is exactly. Yeah, and it's my good man Darren on the show today. Darren, thank you for sharing your films and your artwork with us. Your artourism is what we love
Oh,
about you.
thank you.
We're going to see you at movie night and on the big screen and the small screens and even the handheld screen. We're going to see you on all the screens possible. And for the
Indeed,
rest of
indeed.
you jokers, you know what I say at the end of the show, and I still mean it. Live the life you love and love the life you live. Thank you.